Now let's read about the climatic controls. So always remember, the climate of any place has 6 major controls. They are latitude, altitude, pressure and wind system, distance from the sea, ocean currents and relief features. So while latitude is one of the options, latitude is the horizontal line and longitude is the vertical line. So you see equator is a latitude, right? And it's very warm at the equator because the sun rays falls directly on the equator. And as we move away from the equator, in both southern and northern hemisphere, we'll notice a change in the climatic condition. That is, the temperature decreases. Because in this region, the sun rays do not fall directly. So that's the role of the latitude. And the second reason is altitude. The meaning of altitude is height. As you go higher and higher up, there the atmosphere becomes less dense and temperature decreases. That's why you'll see the hilly areas and the mountainous regions are much cooler than the plains. And the third reason is the pressure and wind system. So by pressure we mean the high pressure and low pressure, and wind is the natural breeze. And it is due to this change in the pressure and wind system, rainfall and temperature is affected. And always remember, land heats faster than sea. And due to this temperature pattern, it affects the rainfall. And we'll read about it going forward. And the fourth topic is ocean currents. If you have visited any coastal area, you will receive a lot of humidity and wind. And this is majorly due to ocean currents. It's because of the sea, water, tide and waves. They constantly come towards the shore and bring along a lot of breeze and wind. And because of this continuous flow of wind, it affects the climate of the coastal area. And the last point is relief. And by relief, we mean the plateaus, mountains, etc. So these physical barriers also play a major role because these high mountains act as a barrier for cold or hot wind. One fine example is the Himalayas. They protect us majorly from the cold winds coming from the Arctic. So I hope now you are well versed with the climatic controls. There's a video in my playlist that I want you to watch, and the name is High Pressure and Low Pressure Systems. The link to the video is down in the description. So in this video you will understand everything about high and low pressure systems. So please make sure you watch it. Now we'll read about the Indian monsoon. The climate of India is strongly influenced by monsoon winds, and even history tells us that the sailors who came to India has witnessed this monsoon. So you see how the word history and climate has been used together in this paragraph. So this is what I was telling you in the beginning of the chapter, that the climate of a particular place is decided over a long period of time. So here we are talking about hundreds of years. The monsoons are experienced in the tropical area roughly between 20° north and 20° south. So this region, that is 20° north in the northern hemisphere and 20° south in the southern hemisphere, is called as the tropical region. And here the sun rays fall directly on the surface of the earth. Because after 20° north the Tropic of Cancer starts, and 20° south the Tropic of Capricorn starts, and that region is called subtropical region. So about the monsoons we have to understand few facts, or rather say mechanism. They are, first, the differential heating and cooling of land and water. As I've said before, that land heats faster than water, and because of this differential heating and cooling, it creates a low pressure on the landmass of India. And the seas around us, that is the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, they will have high pressure. And always remember, wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. So when the low pressure is happening on the landmass, the air moves from high pressure, that is the sea area, towards the land area, and this causes rainfall. And the second mechanism is the shift of the position of intertropical convergence zone, which is called ITCZ. So this zone is a low pressure zone which moves from the equator to the subtropical region and again back. And for this I have another video in my playlist, and you should better watch that. Link to that video is in the description below. Please make sure you watch that and you'll have a nice understanding of what ITCZ means. And the third mechanism is the presence of the high pressure area, that is east of Madagascar. I hope you know where Madagascar is. So it's near the Indian Ocean and towards the eastern side of Africa. So this is a landmass, right? And that too in a complete tropical region. Again, this landmass gets heated very fast, and due to the heating of this landmass, it affects the monsoon of our country, because if you see, it strategically lies in the path of the southwestern winds, which is also the monsoon wind for us. And the fourth mechanism is due to the Tibetan Plateau that gets intensely heated during summer, and due to this it causes strong vertical air currents. And you must also understand that it is 9 kilometers above sea level, so there will be very less moisture. And the fifth mechanism is the movement of the westerly jet stream to the north of the Himalaya. So what do we mean by jet streams? They are fast flowing narrow air currents found in the upper atmosphere. So if you go high up in the atmosphere, there's a thin air that keeps on flowing from one place to another, and they are continuous. So these are called jet stream. So if you stand outside on the road, you may feel a little bit of wind or you may not feel anything. So that is the typical nature of the wind, right? Some place it's windy, some place there is no wind or there is very less wind. But these westerly jet streams are constant. They continuously flow because there are no barriers in the atmosphere. So if you go up high in the atmosphere around the Indian Peninsula region, there you will find an easterly jet stream. You know, thin layer of air moving from west to east. So this jet stream is also very crucial in determining the monsoon in our country. So these were the few mechanisms that causes the monsoons in our country. They are important from examination point of view, so just try to understand them in a visual form with respect to what you feel naturally in the environment. I mean what you notice in the summer and winter, and try to compare with these mechanisms. So this is how you will understand.